What is stress? There are a lot of myths about stress that actually prevent people from dealing with it properly. So stress can be experienced under any number of circumstances, and that's what the myths are really about, that it's in response to what's happening out there, whether it's a traffic jam, a missed plane, a broken down deal at work, broken down relationship, broken down body with health, troubles with children. These are all things that are happening out there. And when you stop and you really think about it, none of that makes sense. And there are a number of reasons for that. The first one is that there are exceptions to all of this, that someone in that circumstance, any one of those named, can not feel stressed about it. So can experience a circumstance but not feel stressed. So there's something different going on. Because if I take a pencil, don't have one here, but if I took a pencil and gave it enough physical stress, materials analysis will eventually wind up in the snap. There's something physical there. There's a physical limitation. People don't quite have that. Animals don't quite have that. And remember, we're animals too. So it's not actually about external circumstance. For example, easy one, traffic jam. I'm sure that you've had the example for yourself, the experience of being stuck in traffic. And sometimes it's been very frustrating, and sometimes it's not been. Sometimes it's been fine. It's not the traffic jam. It's not the circumstance. So I can hear some clever people arguing, well, it's about the circumstances around the circumstance then, because I had time to get to where I was going, but when I wasn't stressed about it, but when I was stressed about it, I had a really important meeting to get to. It's like, no, there are examples in people's lives, and I'm sure you've had it yourself. If you really stop and think about it, has there been some place you needed to go, and there was a delay, and it was just okay? You made a phone call, you let them know, it was just all right. It's not about the circumstance. Ever. Without exception. If you, however, turn to the way stress feels in your body, then you can start getting to what stress is. So how do you know you're stressed? Well, people's hearts might start thumping, experience kind of muscular contraction. Their breathing can go hard. People tend to have different postural responses to stress. So they might get more kind of tight and more aggressive, or they might kind of get more collapsed, or they might get kind of spacey. Any one of those things. And stress can be experienced so chronically that people's very physiology will follow it. So people whose shoulders are hunched forward have a more collapsed response to stress, and they're in chronic stress. People who are really rigid and upright are having a more aggressive response to stress, and etc. What this points us to is a behaviorist explanation of what stress is. Stress is something we do. Now, if you think again about the nature of thinking, how do you know when something's stressful? How do you define it is how you think about it, the set of filters you put it through. So in the earlier example of the traffic jam, you ran it through a set of filters. Well, I don't have to get somewhere exactly at a particular time, so it's all right. I can just chillax here. That's absolutely fine. Another set of filters was, yeah, but, I've got this place to go. It's really urgent. There are going to be really bad consequences if I don't get there on time. That's your thinking. And your thinking you think with your whole body. It's not just, the brain taxi thing here. It's the whole body you think with. So when you have stressful thinking, you have stressful body responses. You have all of the dumps of cortisol that shut down all of your healing responses. All sorts. I'll do a separate video on that one. What stress is something you do, not something that happens to you. That's the most important takeaway point. And you can change what you do.